In 2015, millennials surpassed Gen Xers as the largest share of the American labor force, according to the Pew Research Center. With the unemployment rate at its lowest in 7 years and positive job creation month after month, job prospects for college graduates look brighter. Still, as graduates enter into the working world of budgets and new expenses, some might wonder how to know their prospective salary will cover the cost of living. Simply put, new job seekers need to look ahead at what their expenses will be in the future in order to determine if they should accept that job. Before even starting to run the numbers, it is essential to recognize the initial salary offered is not the amount of money you'll be making. The government automatically makes deductions for federal, state, and local taxes, Medicare, and Social Security tax from all salaries. It is extremely important to calculate these costs before accepting a job, as the gross salary can be a misleading representation of how much money you can work with. Once you've figured out your after-tax income, it's time to get organized and calculate the rest of your expenses. Alex Vaccarella is an associate financial planner at AEPG Wealth Strategies. He says it's all about looking at your expenses compared to your income on a smaller scale.
Let's say you're considering a bunch of jobs with different salary levels. You want to try and get those annual salary numbers down to monthly numbers in terms of things that you can actually spend.
From there, it's a matter of figuring out what your expenses will be on a monthly basis. Overall, graduates can expect to spend 50% of their income on necessities like rent and food, 20% on debt repayment and long-term savings, and 30% on wants. Technology has become a good way for students to weigh their expenses, with various apps doing the job for them. Others, like recent William Patterson grad Aviv Florenthal, go old school to organize their expenses.
So what I did is, for every job offer, I would run a spreadsheet of all of the expenses that I was going to have, and I compared it to my salary that they offered me. So that's kind of how I went about it, to see if the cost of living was going to make sense for me, and if the offer wasn't high enough to support what I thought I wanted my lifestyle to be, that was something I had to consider.
The major new expenses you'll have to weigh include rent, transportation, health and life insurance, and of course repaying student loans, in addition to necessities like food and utilities. Location plays a key role in a lot of these new expenses, since different locations will yield different living opportunities, transportation needs, and even healthcare expenses. You can look at sites like Zillow.com and Apartments.com to start looking at the price of housing in specific locations. And CNN has created a cost of living calculator that can help when comparing how far a salary can go in any given area. For example, although housing costs 30% more in Washington, D.C. than in Boston, average utility and healthcare costs are both more than 25% less expensive in D.C. Because of this, you can expect your salary in D.C. to be higher. Location can also provide different money-saving opportunities depending on the area, which could justify taking a lower-paying job.
You can do different things like moving in at home, finding roommates, instead of having a car which has a lot of expenses associated to it, maybe finding a way to take public transit, different things.
Transportation can also be a huge factor. While many car insurance companies will provide a discount for college graduates, expenses like gas, repairs, and the actual cost of the car itself can accrue. In that case, it might be more worthwhile to find a job you can walk, bike, or commute via transit to. Likewise, you should not only be weighing the cost of living, but also the cost of benefits when looking into accepting a job. Many companies encourage employees to become a part of their health programs, which could cover health insurance and life insurance.
If you have a couple different options and they're all offers, then you can usually get some pretty detailed information about the benefits that each one offers. So you can make a pretty objective decision based on how much of your own money you're going to be putting into these benefits.
These plans can really help you save money in critical areas. So be sure to research whether or not the job provides additional benefits and if these benefits will help you in the long run. Finally, you should take into consideration how you'll be paying off your student loans if you take the job in question. The The Federal Student Aid website provides a repayment estimator to help you determine what you would pay monthly on each repayment plan offered, including graduated, extended, and income-driven plans. It's important to accept a job that will help you to pay off these student loans on a monthly basis, and potentially even to start early during the loan's grace period.
A lot of students can get out of school and not really come up with any kind of strategy as far as paying that down over time until their grace period on the student loans is up, and all of a sudden they get a call or they get a letter that says, we're going to start charging you for your student loans and you owe us $600, $700, $800 a month. I think that's a much bigger burden on a lot of people and maybe more of a surprise for people that actually do take student loans out.
While the math is crucial, a job is more than just the salary. According to a study by the talent acquisition software company Yellow, more young job seekers are choosing career growth and learning opportunities over salary. Likewise, many experts have said that as millennials enter into the workforce, they should focus on gaining valuable experience in order to gain more skills for the possibility of future career growth. Jack Chapman is the author of Negotiating Your Salary: How to Make $1,000 a Minute. He says experience is essential to any major job decision in today's job market.
So the answer is, if it looks like it'll go someplace, if it looks like it's better than nothing, if it looks like it's something that will give you experience that would make up for the lack of dollars up front, any of those reasons, it's a good thing to take a plunge and do work. You have to assess for yourself how long you can subsidize or want to subsidize the employers.
In the end, it can be difficult to choose whether or not to take a job based upon salary. On the one hand, you need to get your foot in the door, and on the other, you need to eat at the end of the day. Study your expense spreadsheets and research the greater opportunities within the company, though, to make that decision a little bit easier. I'm Caitlin Schiffer, reporting for Radio America.